So, good everyone. My name is Erin San, and I'm going to lead you through an hour-long vinyasa flow that's focused on the hips and the heart today. I will ask if you have easy access to a blanket or a towel or maybe even an extra mat. If you want to grab it, then that might be helpful as tools during your practice today. I'm going to use an extra mat, and I'm going to use a towel. I'm just going to show you how easy it is to use the towel to help you as you open up your hips. All right? So if you have a towel, fold it in half lengthwise and roll it from one edge to the other, creating a big noodle. Big noodle shape. Yeah? All right. So we're going to begin this practice of opening our heart, opening our hips, and we'll talk about the why once we get settled. We're going to begin down onto our backs, and I invite you, if you have like a long couch cushion or a series of pillows or even an extra yoga mat, to place it right in the center of the mat like that. Slide your sacrum right up against your sacrum, the lowest point of the spine, right up against the back. Right up against the edge, rather, of the rolled up. This is a mat, but you could use a blanket, or another big blanket, or you could use pillows. And then take your towel with your feet together, knees open, and place the towel right over the ankles, and slide the ends up underneath your hamstrings. So when you come onto your back, laying your spine right along the ridge of whatever you've laid beneath you, you're coming into a supported Supta Baddha Konasana. So your hips are open, your spine is lifted, the shoulders can come to either edge of whatever is along the ridge of the spine. Your arms can be nice and wide. Check out your setup. Just get yourself nice and settled. It's nice to see everyone this morning. I want to thank the Energy Club for sponsoring today's class. The Energy Club is in Shirlington, village of Shirlington in South Arlington. So I'm going to sit up, but you continue to rest in with the feet together, knees open, back resting onto the earth. Perhaps there's something supporting the ridge of your spine. And this class today is dedicated to opening up the hips. The hips are very important to our stability and our mobility. So we want to make sure that they are flexible and limber, and they get very tight when we have repetitive motions throughout the day. They get very tight when we don't have a lot of motion throughout the day. They also get really tight when we're feeling very emotional. That word motion shows up. We are very prone to holding unpleasant emotion, energy of unpleasant emotions in our hips. So fear and anxiety and all of the things that just bear heavily upon you can really settle deeply into your hips, knowingly or unknowingly. And so when we work on hip opening, we work to unleash some of that energy so we can notice how we're feeling, letting it go, making some space and freedom for more pleasant emotions to flood our body through our practice. And of course, our heart is the center of love, kindness, compassion. And when we serve to do back bends or any kind of spinal extension to open up the front body, we're working to celebrate that heart energy and let it flow. But we have to first unblock any blockages in the hips so that the heart energy can flow freely. So as you settle into this shape, I'm just going to have you rest here for a little bit as I read to you a beautiful reading from Melody Beattie. It's a book called Journey to the Heart. And this is a reading called Clear the Path to Your Heart. I watched Old Faithful from my window. The geyser gurgled and spewed a low layer of steam. Then, true to its name, Old Faithful erupted and sprayed thousands of gallons of steaming water into the air, right on time. A full range of gurgling emotions, reactions, and responses to life line the pathway to the heart. We need to feel them all: anger, hurt, sadness, irritations. We need to feel them all in order to feel joy. To experience life and all its wonders, we must embrace all of these feelings. We need to experience the little angers as well as the big hurts, the painful wounds that life sometimes brings. To insist that we will only feel pleasant emotions means we're blocking the pathway to the heart. We are ignoring all the other gurgling emotions that need to be felt. All our emotions are important. All need to be recognized. The energy of each needs to be acknowledged and released. This clears the way for love. All the emotions that precede love clear the heart so it's pure and free to feel joy. So trust your emotions, all of them. You're not off the path. They lead you to the path you are seeking. They are the journey to the heart. Let them flow freely. As sure as Old Faithful, your heart will come gleaming and shining through. If the eyes are not already closed, please close them. Allow yourself to feel the sensation of the earth beneath you, as well as the air above you, surrounding you, safely cushioning you and embracing you. Take a big breath in, sigh, let it all go. You have arrived into this yoga journey where we are going to open the heart by opening the hips. We're going to feel the emotions that are within you. We're going to connect with joy. So allow the mind to be fully present for yourself during the practice. Feel what you feel, no guilt or shame, just pure presence, pure awareness. With the next inhale, invite your intention to float into your mind. It's your passion, your purpose, your inspiration for the practice today. Let's take 3 big breaths, filling up our spaces with energy of intention. So inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Let it go. Beautiful. One more collective breath. And let it all go. Gorgeous. We are together. We are in this community here to share this experience. On the next breath, start to draw the knees together. Keeping the spine supported, reach down and remove the towel or the blanket or whatever you may have used to bind the ankles. Slide it up out of the way. And then step your feet wider than the mat. Have the knees knock in toward one another. Notice how that feels in the hips. We are blessed with these hips that move in so many directions, yet throughout the day, we tend to just work them in the same direction over and over and over. So today we're going to explore all the ways the hips can move. And then bring the feet underneath the knees, heel toe them a little closer together, and let the knees windshield wiper from side to side, keeping your spine rooted down to the earth. And the next time you have the knees go to the right, go off to your right side, just enough to move out of the way, whatever it is that's supporting your spine. Come on down to your backs. Draw your knees in towards your chest with the hands on the knees. Make some big circles into the knees. Move in the other direction. Ball and socket has a full range of motion, so we're really going to work it. We're going to explore it today. Nice. Bring both knees back in towards your chest. Release the left leg long. Take your right hand on the right knee, left hand on the left hip, and start to press that knee open and then bring it back to close. Press it open and bring it back to close. And do that 2 more times. Open, close. Last one, open. And as you bring it close, we're going to draw it all the way across the body into a spinal twist. Maybe you hear a little snap, crackle, pop. Probably wasn't your Rice Krispies. It could have been your spine. So just enjoy the little adjustments you're offering to yourself. But be sure to stay very safe within your practice. You know your body, and let yourself be guided by the wisdom that you hold about your anatomy, about your physical limitations, and just keep the practice safe for you today. One more big breath. Beautiful. Come back into center. Hug that knee once again, giving flexion into that right hip, and release it down. We're going to bring the left knee into our chest. Keep the left hand on the knee, right hand on the right hip, and open and close. Open and close, keeping the pelvic rim grounded and rooted so you're not rocking anything except that left side hip. Last one, big opening. And as you close it, invite it to cross over the body, finding that spinal twist. Hopefully if you snap, crackle, pop on one side, you're doing it on the other just to feel nice and even. Take a big breath in. Let a breath go. Breathe. One more big breath. Very nice. From here, we're going to come back in, hug the left knee into the chest, and then release the left leg long. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Open up the body into a big X shape. Root the pelvis, or the back of the pelvis, the pelvic rim into the earth. Feeling that back arch a little bit. Taking the belly up to the sky. Take one more big breath. Beautiful. Then flatten the back to the earth. Bring the knees into the chest and begin to rock and roll the length of the spine until you come up to a seated position. And in your seated position, have one leg crossed above the other, just in your Sukhasana. So you'll naturally go to one side, and we're going to switch in just a moment. So we're going to work a little bit more into the directions of the spine because that helps support the hips. So inhale, open up. As you exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, we're going to keep it flowing this morning. Inhale to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Keep going. Inhaling to center. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale. Exhale. We'll do one more on each side. Big breath in. Full breath out. Inhale and exhale. Very nice. Come back into center. Interlace fingers behind the back. Draw the fist down, maybe away from the sacrum or stay rooted toward the back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together as the heart lifts. And right here, notice if you can create a little bit more space through the neck Slide the shoulders down. Squeezing, opening up the heart space. Take one more big breath in. Release the bind, plant the hands down behind you. Now you can either have your fingers pointing to the hips or turn your wrists away from you. Just play around with how it feels into the wrists. Press down as you lift the hips up toward the sky. Really nice stretch into the hip flexors here. You can let the head tip back if you want. Take 2 more big breaths. Breathe deeply into those hips. One more big breath. And release. Beautiful. We're going to open the legs up, but remember which leg is in front. So when we come back to it, you'll do the other side. Open the legs up here. We're getting into the inner thighs now, and that's also part of the hip structure. So just feel yourself spinning externally through the hips as you open up. Take a big breath in. Exhale, begin to reach forward. You'll find your edge, I promise. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward. 2 more, and then we'll settle right there into that sweet spot. Big breath in. Full breath out. Last one. Breathe in and start to melt the heart down. If you have a block, it's always nice to put it right here. I'll show you. You can use it to help root your third eye. If you don't have a block, that's totally fine. You don't need to have a block. You can just let the chest hover, or you come further down. Breathe into those strong sensations within the legs and the hip right here. Take 2 more breaths. Keep rolling the chest forward, rolling the pelvis back. And then we're going to rise back to seated position. Come back into Sukhasana with the other leg on top. Notice how everything's feeling. Take a big breath in, arms lift. As you exhale, crescent over to the right side, reaching long through the left side body. Inhale through center. Exhale over to the left. Keep going, moving the energy through the body via the breath. Breathing into center, breathing out to crescent. We'll do last one right here. Inhale, center. Exhale, crescent. Beautiful. Come back to center. Interlace fingers in a different way this time. Draw the fist down and away from the back. Open your heart. Feel the shoulder blades draw together. Maybe when you bring attention to your heart chakra, your anahata, you're seeing a bright glow of green merging with white. And every time we open our heart, just imagine like a lighthouse. You're just shining it out into the world, just guiding your path and attracting all of those in your life who are important to you. One more big breath. And then release your hands behind you. Again, maybe play around with a different rotation of the wrists. Press down into the earth. Lift the hips up to the sky. Keep rooting down through both knees, both shins. Take one more big breath. Beautiful. Come on down. Roll into your table position. From table position, explore some cat-cow movements. Really letting the heart shine as you drop the belly to the earth. And then lift and round the belly and feel the back of the heart shining right here in your cat pose. Inhale, shine through the front of the heart. And exhale through the back of the heart. We shine our back of the heart onto all those who have helped us, our ancestors, anyone from our past who has helped create our life the way it is today, those we honor and cherish, keep in our memories. 2 more. Breathe out here. 1 more. Big breath in And big breath out. Nice. From here, find your table position once again and lift your right knee and make some big circles. There's a lot of balance going on here, so we're not collapsing into that left side. We don't want to collapse into our shoulders either. So while you're pressing down into the palms and the left knee, you're also drawing up some contraction into the lower abs. Stirring up through that right side hip. And then release down. We'll take it onto the left side. So find your stability in your table first, then start to shake it up a little bit by moving into the left side hip. And anything that comes into your awareness, you're just noticing it with an open mind, an open heart. You don't have to get wrapped up in the story of why your hip feels the way it does. Don't invite any shame or criticism, just to be present for it. And then release. Beautiful. Flex the feet, drive the toes down into the earth. Let the knees hover and press your chest all the way back towards your thighs, like you're about to take off in a race. And then slowly start to lift the hips up as you press the heels down, downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Let a breath go. One more breath. And release. Beautiful. Look to the front of the mat. Either take a hop or take some little steps, feet to hands. As you inhale, we're going to rise all the way up, straighten through the legs, lift the heart, interlace fingers behind the back here, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And as you exhale, bend the knees, chest to thigh, bow down. Inhale, press into those feet, straighten the legs, open up through the heart. And exhale, bend the knees, chest to thighs, like a little drinking bird in your chair pose. 2 more. Move with the fluidity of the breath. One more, nice and slowly. Beautiful. And bow down. Release the hands right here. Begin to straighten the legs. You can take a ragdoll as the head hangs heavy. Let the arms sway a little bit from side to side. I'm going to come check in on you guys. Very nice. Beautiful. Yes, just hanging heavy. Let it all go. Anything that you've been hanging on to, just floating right off the shoulders. And then release the bind. Bring your hands halfway. Nice flat back. Then plant the hands. Step 1 foot back, then the other, high plank. From high plank, lower down chaturanga. Low push-up. Inhale right here. Feel the heart open. So either your cobra, this is a mini cobra, baby cobra, as the elbows stayed bent but hugged toward the body and the chest draws forward. Or you can take a full cobra where you straighten the arms, draw the heart forward, root down through the hips and the thighs. We're just going to stay here for 2 more breaths. Really enjoy this heart opener. One more big breath. Beautiful. And the nice counter pose to these deep heart openers is a closed knee child's pose. So send the hips back to the heels, rounding through the spine, bring the belly back to the thighs, reaching forward to ignite the energy of the shoulders. Take a big breath in. Let a breath go. Beautiful. From here, we're going to shift back into a table position. Flex the feet, drive the toes down into the earth, lift the knees to hover. Press your chest all the way back towards your thighs. And then begin to lift the hips, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Beautiful. Inhale, right leg rises. Step the right foot between the hands. Come into a low lunge. As you inhale, straighten the leg. And as you exhale, go a little deeper. One more. Inhale, straighten. Exhale a little deeper. Release the left knee, untuck the toes. We're going to sweep the arms up. Bring the hands to interlace behind the head and see if you can, at the same time, deepen the expression through the hips and through the heart. This is like the cover pose, cover girl pose for a hips and a heart flow. Lunges and back bends all at the same time. Take a big breath in. Sink a little deeper. Beautiful. One more big breath. And then release the hands. Lift the left knee. Send the right leg high to the sky. Bend the right knee. Make some big circles into the right side hip once again. Like you did on your knee. This time lift it. The option is always there to go back to your knee. Beautiful. Back to your downward facing dog. Inhale forward to your high plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, press up for a back bend. Take an extra breath. And curl the toes under safely using the strong core. Lift the hips back up to downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, left heel rises, three-legged dog. Guide the left foot through your low lunge. Inhale, straighten the leg. And exhale, go a little deeper. And each time you go deeper, if the knee travels further and the hip finds more space, walk the left toes forward. Inhale and exhale. One more. Big breath in. Full breath out. Release your right knee. Untuck the right toes. We're going to come into that low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Sweep the arms up as the tailbone sinks low. Interlace fingers in a different way to support the back of the head. Elbows nice and wide. Breathe in and sink. And you can keep finding more space with each breath, or you can just settle right here. Two more breaths. Just bask in the opening, the energetic opening here. Beautiful. Release the bind. Hands are going to come back to frame the left foot. Lift the right knee. Left leg goes back up to the sky, three-legged dog. Bend the knee and circle out through that left side hip. Beautiful. Back to downward facing dog. Inhale, shift forward, high plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Come all the way down. Inhale, maybe deep in the cobra if you'd like. Gonna hang out for an extra breath. Giving a lot of attention to the heart openers today, no rush. And then make your way back to downward facing dog. Let the breath go. On the inhale, look to the front of the mat, bend the knees, maybe a little hop or step, feet to hands. Inhale, rise all the way up. As you exhale, little chair pose with the arms floating behind you. Inhale, rise up, open up the heart. Exhale, chair. Two more. Sweep the arms through with the breath. Just building a little heat in the body. The heat helps open up the joints and melt. Straighten the legs in your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift to flat back. Plant the hands. Just step the left foot back. We're going to root the feet down and rise into a high crescent lunge. High crescent lunge. So stay rooted with your feet. Yes. Beautiful. Lifting those arms, but soften the shoulders away from your ears a little bit. Beautiful. Your hips are squared to the front of the mat. And then melt your left heel down, opening those hips into your warrior two. Gorgeous. Yes. Keep inviting the hips to spin open. For a little bit more intensity, you can walk the right foot over, heel toe it to the right, closer to the right edge of the mat, finding even more space in those hips. Very nice. Yes. Exhale, can you go a little deeper? Inhale, straighten. Exhale, a little deeper. Last one, big breath in. Find your deepest expression here, right? And it's your deepest expression for you today. It's not what you did yesterday or what you're hoping to do tomorrow. You have to meet yourself where you are today. Nice. Straighten the front leg, triangle pose. So reach forward through that right hand, look over the right fingers, and then float that hand down as the left arm goes up, feeling a long line of energy across the shoulders. Keep drawing that left shoulder back. Maybe feel a slight spinning of the right ribs through. And you can change the gaze. Maybe you look up. Beautiful. One more breath. Use that strong core of the left side to lift you back up right here, back into your warrior two. Inhale, flip the right palm, reverse the warrior. Exhale, the hands are going to cartwheel inside the right foot, coming into a lizard lunge. So rock a little bit forwards and backwards. Notice that we want the knee stacked over the ankle once again. You can release the left knee down. Maybe the right hand pushes the right knee open. Maybe you even reach back for a bind if you like. But keeping it in the hips, we would stay focused just on that right hip. There are lots of different ways you can do it. You can come all the way down to your forearms with the knee drawn into that right shoulder. And for a really intense shape, which is not accessible to me, but I'll just show you, you would take your block or stack of books and put your right foot on top. So if you're really looking to get deeper into those hips, if you're super, super flexy, then you would want to try that as a little amplification of the practice. So there's always some place you can go more gentle, always some place you can go that's more intense. 2 more breaths. Beautiful. From here, we're going to press into the left foot, coming into that low lunge shape. Walk the hands around to the center. Come into a forward fold. Big breath in, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Stay here, then start to bend into your left knee, coming into a skandasana. Skandasana really opens up through, it's a side lunge, so we're getting real deep into that extended leg, the hip of the extended leg. You can root your right or your left, this is your left arm in front of the left shin and take a little twist if you want, or you can just stay here in your skandasana. Take another breath. Keep flexing into that right foot, spinning the right pinky toes outward to really get deep into the hip. Beautiful. Hands come back to the earth. We're going to walk the hands over to frame the right foot. Step the left foot to join, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, chair pose. Sweep the heart to the thighs. Inhale, lift up, open up through the heart. And exhale, chair, sweep. 2 more. Big breath in. And full breath out. Last one. Breathe in. Feel the opening. And fold. Halfway lift, flat back. And as you exhale, plant the hands. Step that right foot back. We're going to rise into our high crescent lunge. High crescent. So create some space in the hips. And then spin the right heel down. Open up into your warrior two. Okay, so same thing. You want your right heel parallel to the short edge of the mat. I'll turn around for you. You want to find so much opening into those hips. So feel them spiral outward. Maybe create more space by heel toeing that left foot. Keep rooting evenly in through the feet. Extend the arms. Inhale, straighten the legs, connect the palms overhead. Exhale, go a little deeper. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Last one. Breathe in. Right here, deepest warrior two. Breathe into the spaces of the hips. You've got it. One more breath. Beautiful. Inhale, straighten the front leg, triangle pose. So extend forward and then begin to hinge. Opening up through the side body, not collapsing right on this left side. We're staying long. Maybe the gaze floats up. Keep drawing the shoulders back. Keep rooting evenly through both feet. So notice if you've shifted the weight in any way. Beautiful. One more big breath. Big opening to the hips here. Slowly start to lift back up. Find your warrior two again. Inhale, reverse the warrior. Exhale, cartwheel the hands inside, finding your lizard lunge. I'm going to come back to this side here. So your left foot is in front. Hands are inside. Maybe you drop the right knee. Maybe you press the left knee open. That always feels good to me, but you really need to play around with what feels good for you. It doesn't have to be a static pose. You can invite as much movement, as much exploration into the shape as your body calls for. Just have some fun. But do send deep breath into the pockets of the hip. Two more breaths. Beautiful. From here, we're going to come back up. Lift the right knee, walk the hands over to the center, wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. I'm going to turn around for you. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Last one. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Walk the hands and bend into the right knee, skandasana over to the right. With that left foot flexed, really invite the opening. And if you notice that the toes are collapsing in, keep spinning them outward. That rotation is where you really get the sensation. You can take a little twist here. One more breath. And then release the hands down. Nice. Back up to your forward fold. Start to walk the hands over to frame the left foot. Step back to your high plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale. Maybe you're ready for an upward facing dog. Contracting the thighs, lifting them from the earth, pressing down through the hips, pressing forward through the heart. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Keep pressing the earth away. One more breath. And back to downward facing dog. Beautiful shapes. Beautiful opening of the heart. Big breath in. Full breath out. On the inhale, right leg rises, three-legged dog. As you exhale, draw the right knee forward, setting up for a resting half pigeon. But before you completely collapse the hips down, take the toes of the left foot and walk that leg back, 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 back. You have something, right? Everyone had something at the beginning of practice. So maybe you have a towel. And if you're noticing that that right hip isn't fully engaged with the earth, or even if it is, but you just want a little support, you can slide the towel right underneath the hip. And just notice how much better it feels, right? So we want to make sure that we can, I like to say jazz hands. We like to make sure that our hips are squared, our spine is lifted, and we're actually going to bind our hands behind our back for just a moment to see if we can root down through the hips. So right there is where you may want to bring some support in. So first, we're going to start by opening the heart. Everyone is always so quick to collapse in there and surrender into their pigeon, but it's nice to just take some time in our seated pigeon to feel the benefits into the hip and to invite some benefits into the heart. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. And release the bind. This is when we can come into our resting half pigeon by walking the hands forward and melting the heart down toward the earth, fully surrendering now. Maybe you're using a pillow from the couch to help connect you to the earth, or maybe you use your hands, stacking the palms as a pillow. Take a big breath in and exhale, let it all go. If there's any tightness in the hips, feel it soften. Notice the jaw. Try to release any contraction. Stay here for 2 more breaths. And begin to walk your hands back towards your shin. If there is something underneath your hip, remove it just for a moment. Sit your right hip down and swing your left leg around. We're going to stack it on top into a fire log shape. So right here, when you're creating this fire log shape with the left shin stacked on top of the right, you may notice that there's a lot of space between your left knee and your right ankle. And that's when you can bring your towel or blanket or whatever you have and nestle it right in between. And voila, you've made the connection. So come into your seat. We're going to interlace fingers behind the back once again. Inhale, open up to the heart. And as you exhale, start to bow down. If this bind doesn't feel good to you, release it. Come on down. Melt. This is just a chance to offer the hips and the heart at the same time. Keep the feet flexed to protect your joints. The body is begging for really deep breaths right now, so let those breaths soothe the tight and tense spaces of the hips. Take 1 more breath. Feels a little awkward. Your hips may not rise all that much, but you're going to feel it in those hip flexors. So press down and lift up. 2 more breaths. You got it. Notice where you're feeling it. Beautiful. Come on down. Uncross that left leg. Send it back behind you. We're going to press down into the palms and make our way back into a table position. From table, let the hips go from side to side. Maybe stir them a little bit or lift and shake. Whatever feels instinctive to you. And from here, press down into the palms. Press down into the feet as you flex them and drive the balls of the feet into the earth. Lift the knees, chest back to thighs, hips high, downward facing dog. And maybe it feels nice to take your dog for a walk here. Pedal out through the heels. And we'll take that on the other side. So when you're ready, inhale, left heel rises. Exhale, draw the left knee forward, setting up for your resting half pigeon. But before you clunk down, look over the right shoulder, lengthen through the right leg, creating contraction in the right side hip. And bring in whatever you need to help support your hip on this side. Bring it on. All right? So we're setting up first. You want your shin as parallel to the front edge of the mat as you can get it, but know that give yourself some grace if it's in a different shape, but just keep drawing your left knee over toward the edge of the left mat. Hands are free, jazz hands, interlace, or you can do opposite elbows or reverse namaste, something to help square the hips Something to open the heart. This is your seated pigeon. Take another breath. Release the bind. Begin to float into your resting half pigeon, where you walk forward, extending the spine, melting the heart, and just relax. Relaxing very consciously as you send the breath into the tightness of the left hip. Take 2 more deep breaths here. Very nice. Walk the hands back towards you. Release anything that was supporting that left hip. Swing the right leg around. Stack the right shin over the left. And again, if there's a big gap here, if it's really tight, you don't have to force anything. We certainly don't want to do that. We want to support. So bring whatever you have as support. You can always come into a Baddha Konasana as well if it's just really unpleasant for you. So here we are back in our stacked fire log or double pigeon shape. Once again, taking some sort of bind behind the back. If that feels good to you, try something different and new. So for a moment, lifting the spine, opening the heart. And as you exhale, hinge forward at the hips. Keep sending loving, nourishing, compassionate breath into the tight spaces of the hips. You are unleashing so much right now. You are letting go. Two more breaths. Beautiful. Come on up. We're going to do our last little lift here. So press your hands down behind you. Again, feel free to alternate the swivel of the wrists, however you'd like. Press down into the earth. Lift the hips up. Beautiful, beautiful. Take another breath. And release. Uncross the legs. Tick-tock the knees from side to side. You can even shake if that feels good. And we're going to come back onto our backs in a laughing happy baby. Perhaps you take a bind on the big toes or the edges of the feet and just alternate opening and closing through the hips, revisiting all the ways the hips can move. And for our final rest today, our Shavasana, if you'd like to come back into a shape similar to how we began, into that supported Supta Baddha Konasana, that's always an option there. It's nice to have the towel or the blanket to support the hips, so it's really effortless. It's also nice to feel a little lift of the heart. But that said, if you're feeling like you've done way too much in either of those departments today, maybe you take your towel or your bolster or pillow, whatever you have, and maybe you give yourself a little cushy Shavasana by putting that towel under your knees as you come down. That will help to support your back. And you can still feel really nice and wide, open through the heart and relax through the hips. So start to settle into your final resting shape. Know that you worked really hard today, not just physically, but emotionally. Because a lot of things may have come up, and there may have been things that you confronted that surprised you. Just know that this is a way of finding freedom, creating some space. So once you settle into your most comfortable shape, take a big breath in, let a breath go, let the practice go, let the muscle control and breath control go, and allow yourself to settle into this beautiful space of being. The Guest House by Rumi. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice. Meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whatever comes because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Very sage reminder to welcome awareness to all the emotions that we experience throughout the day rather than resist or deny them because that only serves to build up stagnancy and suffering. So as we opened our hips today and opened our hearts, you paved a beautiful path to notice, to feel, to experience, to invite freedom. Start to breathe deeper into the body and move in ways that help you feel awake and alive once again. Hug your knees in toward your chest and say thank you to yourself for your practice, for your dedication to self-awareness. Roll onto one side. Slowly invite yourself up to a seated position, drawing the hands together in front of the heart. Your heart is shining so brightly, so vibrantly with love and kindness and compassion right now. May you continue to shine all day long. The love in me honors the love in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with us. Please come back each day this week at 9 a.m. Tomorrow's class will be dedicated toward balancing, so standing, seated, arm balancing, a whole range of balancing postures to help you with your mental and physical balance. So, not just what's happening in the body, but we need what's happening in the body to help us with the mind. So, thank you so much. If you would like to